for daily Ask Reddit. r/Ask Reddit. Serious Redditors who have been clinically dead and then revived/resuscitated. What did dying feel like? How it changed your life? Did you see anything while passed on? If you enjoy the video, drop a like and subscribe so you never miss a video. I fell 3 stories back on the 80s. Broke my sternum, most of ribs on my right side, my right arm, femur where the hip joint is, and fractured my pelvis in many places. I was alert while the fire department cut the fence down so the ambulance could get me out of the courtyard I was in. Also most of the ambulance ride, I knew I was in deep shit when the paramedic told the driver that I was code unknown and to redirect to another hospital. I remember the paramedic trying to keep her balance while she was pulling stuff out of the upper cabinets because the ambulance was swaying real hard now. Everything became really peaceful. I was now observing everything from a different angle, as if I was above and to the right of myself. I came to while a surgeon was sewing my left eyelid back on, as it was partially torn off when I hit something on the way down. He asked me how I felt and seemed very curious if I saw anything. I died in the ambulance that day. Shock is hell of a thing. It changed my life in so many ways. I became much more happy. I don't sweat the small stuff as much. It also somehow made me more confident. So let me preface this by saying I'm immunocompromised and that's why things went bad fast. Few years ago I got an abscess in my lower back, and about 4 hours after I started showing symptoms, fever, site inflammation, pain, etc. I started going septic while waiting in the ER. Just started really feeling like shit after being admitted and already started on some hardcore broad spectrum antibiotics. I just wasn't getting better. In fact I was getting worse and I felt awful and it hurt so badly, but nothing showing up on CAT, MRI, or X-ray to suggest an abscess. So they thought it was a skin infection. About 3 days in, packed with ice bags, my temp was 104.7 and my organs were starting to shut down. It was weird, because I went from feeling the most miserable I've ever felt, to peace, calm, pain-free, and quiet. I couldn't hear anything. Like I had just been put in a soundproof room. I could still see my wife, my mom, and siblings and they started panicking. I didn't know at the time, but my heart was going into a weird rhythm or something along those lines. I just closed my eyes, like I was just gonna take a nap. Remember just feeling like I've had a good life, and only being sad I was leaving my wife behind. Only been married 3 years at this point. Remember seeing almost like a foggy haze, like you see in movies, where they are by the docks early morning, and being told not yet, by a figure in said fog. Woke up a couple hours later and apparently they got me back, and also gave me emergency surgery as the surgeon had a hunch where the abscess was, even though charts didn't show anything. Spent an entire month in the hospital recovering. Bandage changes were a bitch because it was so deep. Thanks to that surgeon and rest of the staff I'm still here today. Was in a bad car accident 3 weeks after high school and died in the operating room 7 times in total. All I can say is I felt pain, a lot of pain, and as I got colder the pain eased, and not the physical, the mental pain too, only to wake in extreme agony. When I was 14, I was swimming in the Great Barrier Reef in Australia. I got stung by a box jellyfish and was legally dead for 5 minutes. I was revived. It was like a dream. My dad got stung by a box jelly, said it was the worst pain he's experienced. Tried to surf back to shore but lost consciousness. Another surfer saw him struggling and pulled him to shore. I never want to meet one of those things. When I was really young I went to a church party at a pastor's house, went off the diving board to look cool in front of big kids. While I couldn't swim, immediately sank. I kept breathing in water every time I surfaced. Then I remember feeling really tired and really calm. I looked towards the surface and saw it get further and further away. Everything grew dark, weird to say, but it was blissful. I felt nothing, then remember hacking my lungs out and nothing in between. Kids saw me and rushed over. I don't remember being pulled out or the mouth to mouth. All I remember is coughing violently. When I was 6 I got pretty sick. I remember lying on my grandmother's sofa and listening to my parents and grandparents talking over coffee in the kitchen. Then they began to sound farther and farther away, like down a long tunnel. When I turned away I felt real weird and noticed I was on the ceiling. Looking down I could see myself on the sofa and I started calling for help. Everything went black. Then I saw a real bright light. It was the lights on the ceiling of the room and the air. They had just dunked me in an ice bath. I had spiked a fever over 104F. Had a section years ago. I was given an epidural and was awake for the procedure but felt nothing neck down. My son was born and was healthy but ruptured my uterus due to previous scar tissue. The black curtain began to fall over my vision and I felt coldness creeping in. I had a suffocating sensation even though I was on oxygen. I woke hours later intubated and my chest was sore as hell. Apparently my blood pressure dropped and my heart stopped. I was revived and shocked. I didn't remember anything during my unconsciousness, but I definitely knew I was dying during the blackout. It sounds crazy, but I felt calm and relaxed. It wasn't scary, but maybe because it wasn't my time to go,